In the heart of Lagos, where city lights never dim and the music of life plays on every street corner, there was one name that made every woman swan and men nod in admiration. Ebuka Okechukwu. Handsome, wealthy, and dangerously charming. Ebuka was the kind of man who knew exactly what to say, when to say it, how to say it, and when to walk away. He was the perfect player, the heartbreaker, who made no promises, yet left traces of shattered hearts behind him. Women flocked to him, knowing the risk, but still unable to resist his deep baritone voice, confident stride, and magnetic aura. His reputation was legendary, whispered among social circles, from the upscale lounges of Victoria Island to the bustling nightclubs of Lekki. Ebuka had rules: never fall in love, never apologize, and never chase. He prided himself on his ability to remain unattached, but the universe had other plans for him. Ebuka's life took a turn on an evening he never saw coming. It was a charity gala in Ikoyi, an event he attended more for the prestige than the cause. He was being used to being the center of attention as usual. Women stared at him, some openly, some shyly. Then he saw Amarachi Okafor. She wasn't like the other women who sought his attention. There was something different about her, a quiet confidence, an air of mystery. Her beauty wasn't just in her features, but in the way she carried herself. She wore a simple but elegant dress, her dark skin glowing under the chandeliers. Ebuka was intrigued. He approached her, expecting the usual pleasantry exchange. "Good evening," he said smoothly, flashing his signature smile. Amarachi barely spared him a glance. "Evening," she responded, sipping her drink. No interest, no admiration, just polite acknowledgement. Ebuka was stunned. For the first time, someone wasn't falling over him, and that was the beginning of his downfall. Ebuka was not used to being ignored. It irritated him. More than that, it intrigued him. He found himself seeking Amarachi out at every opportunity, but she remained unmoved by his charm. "You don't like me?" he asked her one evening after a few weeks of failed attempts to impress her. She looked at him with an amused smile. What's there to like? Ebuka was dumbfounded. "People usually fall for your charm." She raised an eyebrow. "That's the problem. You rely on charm, but what's beneath it?" For the first time in years, Ebuka was speechless. Amarachi was not playing his game, and worse, she was making him question himself. Determined, Ebuka spent more time with Amarachi, learning about her rather than trying to impress her. He discovered she was a lawyer, passionate about justice. She volunteered in orphanages, loved old literature, and unshaken faith in God. She didn't just challenge him, she made him feel things he never felt before: respect, admiration, even love. It was terrifying. The real test came when one of his past flings, Bisi, confronted Amarachi at a restaurant. "You think you are special?" Bisi sneered. "Ebuka doesn't love anyone but himself." Amarachi didn't flinch. She simply looked at Ebuka and asked, "Is that true?" For the first time, Ebuka realized he didn't want to be that man anymore. Ebuka started changing, not for Amarachi, but for herself. He distanced himself from his old ways, made amends with women he had hurt, and worked on being a better man. Amarachi saw his growth, but she didn't make it easy. She wanted to be sure it was real. Months passed, and for the first time in his life, Ebuka was patient. One day, he stood before her and said, "I don't want to be the man I used to be. Not because of you, but because I finally see who I want to become." And for the first time, Amarachi smiled. Ebuka and Amarachi's love wasn't built on games or charm, but on honesty, growth, and respect. The reformed playboy had finally found something worth keeping, a love that changed him forever. Ebuka had spent years living a life of pleasure, but now, for the first time, he was searching for purpose. His transformation had begun with Amarachi, but he knew that true change had to come from within. He wanted to prove to himself, to Amarachi, and to the world that he was more than a man who thrived on charm. The first step, finding a job. Ebuka had always relied on his father's wealth and his connections to get by, but now he wanted to stand on his own. He dusted off his degree in business administration and started applying for jobs. It wasn't easy. Many companies saw his resume and dismissed him. His reputation preceded him. Some interviewers recognized his name from social circles and assumed he wasn't serious. But for the first time, Ebuka didn't use his charm to talk his way out of things. He accepted the rejections, learned from his mistakes, and kept pushing forward. Finally, after weeks of searching, he got an opportunity, a position as a business development officer at a reputable firm in Lagos. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't high-paying, but it was honest work, and that was what he needed. While Ebuka was working hard to build a new life, his past refused to let go of him. Women he had ghosted, misled, or used started reappearing in his life, some by accident, some on purpose. One evening, he ran into Tolu, a woman he had once grand promised to, only to disappear when he got bored. She wasn't pleased to see him. "So you are a changed man now," she scoffed when they met at a cafe. "Do you even remember the things you told me? How special I was." Ebuka felt a pang of guilt. He had never realized the damage he had done until now. "I was selfish, Tolu," he admitted. "I hurt you. I can't change the past, but I'm truly sorry." Tolu looked at him for a long time before shaking her head. "I hope for your sake you mean that." Similar encounters happened with other women. Some forgave him, some didn't, but he faced every situation with honesty. It was painful but necessary. Marachi watched Ebuka's transformation from a distance. She had always believed that people could change, but when she needed to be sure that his growth was real, she tested him, sometimes softly, sometimes directly. When he was frustrated at work and tempted to quit, she asked, "Are you going to run like you always do?" When an ex tried to lure him back into his old ways, she asked, "Are you still that man?" Every time, Ebuka chose the other path, the path of responsibility, commitment, and growth. One evening, after a long day at work, he met up with Amarachi at a quiet spot near the Lagos Lagoon. He looked at her and said, "I am ready." "For what?" she asked, smiling. "To be the man I was always meant to be." And for the first time, she believed him. Ebuka didn't just change for Amarachi. He changed for himself. He became a man of his word, a man with integrity, and a man who understood the value of true love. And when the time was right, he got down on one knee and asked Amarachi to be his forever. This time, there was no game, no charm, no emptiness, just love. And she said yes. True love is about growth. The right person won't just love you. They will inspire you to become better. Charm fades, but character lasts. What truly wins hearts is not appearance, but sincerity. Change must come from within. No one can force you to change. It has to be a personal decision. Change is a choice. No matter how deep you are in bad habits, you can choose to become better. Redemption isn't instant. Facing the past and proving your worth takes time, but it's worth it. Love is built on trust. True love isn't about words, it's about consistent actions. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like this video, Leave a comment to share your thoughts and subscribe to this channel for more amazing love stories. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to bring you more exciting stories. See you in the next one.